we'd like to wish Rabbi Katz a huge mazel tov on this milestone of becoming the Rav of our shul, and even more so to ourselves on the appointment of our Naftali Katz as our Rav. On behalf of myself and the entire Kehillah, without mentioning any names in specific, as there were a lot of people involved, but we'd like to thank everyone and anyone for all of their time, effort, advice, hard work, due diligence throughout this entire process. We know it wasn't always easy or convenient, but you took out the time, and Baruch Hashem, we got it done, so thank you. The word Hachtara, crowning, seems a little interesting. It sounds very European, or something that would happen in England by the Queen. What's not the pshat that we use this term when bringing in a new Rav? So throughout the process we have heard and we learned and we have seen that the Rav is a Talmud Chacham, someone who could give great shiurim, is very learned, and in Hashem we should have to grow and steig from these things. However, we have to realize that there's something else that we can maybe learn from even more. The Medrash Rabbah in Parshas Bayim asks, Lama Zochta Zakenim She'Yisrael Nigalaya. Why was the Zakenim Zochta that Klal Yisrael should be redeemed through them? What was the reason? What was their merit? Why were they Zochta to play such an integral part in the Geulah? So the Medrash says that when Moshe Rabbeinu came to tell Klal Yisrael about the Geulah, they saw that the Zakenim believed in Moshe, and therefore they believed in Moshe as well. And that was the Sukkos. So without reading further into the Medrash, one would think and assume that what does this mean? It means that the Zakenim went around convincing people, rallying the troops, having discussions, speaking in favor of Moshe. And because of that, that's why they were Zochta. They convinced everyone to believe in Moshe, and that's why they believed in Moshe. But that's not what the Medrash says. Continuing reading through the Medrash explains that if the Zakenim would not have accepted Moshe's words, and God's Klal Yisrael wouldn't have accepted the words of Moshe either. All they did was exactly what they were supposed to do. Accept the words of Moshe as the Shliach HaMashiach. And because of that, they were Zochta. There were no outreach sessions, no support rallies, nothing. They just listened to Moshe, they believed in Moshe, and because of that, Klal Yisrael believed in them, and that was their success. So what's stopping the shot? That just by doing what they were supposed to do, had such an impact and gave them such a success. So the Gemara in Brachos in Zayin tells us that being mishamish, serving the Talmud Chacham, is greater or more influential than learning the Torah itself. Klal Yisrael looked up to the Zakenim as leaders, and by leading by example, even though it was something that they were supposed to be doing anyways, that was the success. And that's why they were said for Klal Yisrael to be Nigalaya. So one might ask, what do I need a Rav for? I'm a smart guy, I learn all the time, I'm well versed in halacha, I'm good. And the answer is that even if all these things are true, there's always more to know, and always higher my dreams to reach. Everyone needs hadracha, and it comes out in different forms and various stages in our lives. We and everyone in Klal Yisrael needs a Rav to watch and learn from. We need hours of here. And going back to the original question as to why we call it a Hachtara, maybe this is why. Because we have to crown in our own Zaken and watch his example and have to grow from him. An interesting Harav is that someone of great stature and learnedness in Yiddishkeit is called a Talmud Chacham. But why do we refer to this Gadol, someone who's so great as a Talmud, a student, or a pupil? So the Mishnah Perkei says, Ezel Chacham, however we call them. In order to become and be a Talmud Chacham or a great leader, you have to be able to realize that we don't know everything, and there's always more to learn and higher my dreams to reach. The Rav, in the short amount of time that I know and that we know, and from what we have all heard, is someone who can learn from by just watching and being mishamish. One example that comes to mind is that we just had a bar mitzvah this past week in Shlit. The Rav came because he felt it was the right thing to do. He came even before the Hachtara. It wasn't easy to set up the house that a few people arranged and found 2 days before the setup of the house. nevertheless, even on the kindness, they get it done. During his speech on Shabbos, he said something that stuck with me, and that shows what type of person the Rav truly is. He was talking about the Bar Mitzvah boy. And the Rav knows the father a little bit, and the grandparents a little bit. But instead of just saying that he should follow in his father's and grandfather's footsteps and the like, he said that he called the boy's Rebbe to find out some good qualities and midas of the boy. And then he was able to speak about the boy. A great leader is about taking that extra step, going the extra mile for each and every one of his talmidim and his scholars. May we be zeichen to have a cram in our Rav in the right way, and be zeichen to learn and reach high madrigas through his Torah U'maisim Torah. On that note, I'd like to ask Yerucham Olshin, one of the Rosh Yeshiva of BMG, that just came back from Texas and took out some time to be here. As we all know, anyone who goes to the Friday Chavurahs, you don't even have to understand Yiddish, you just have to be there. And you could see Taka, you could learn just from being Shamish. The Rabbi Yerucham, the Rosh Yeshiva, we'd like to ask Rabbi Yerucham to give some different rights.
Spoke about the Hachtara, the master of God, we call it Hachtara. And I'd like to say, what does it mean, Hachtara? A little bit different. I was thinking about the Hachtara to be master of God. I saw Harav in the Sefer Shalach, but the Shalach it was always in the Pshat. He says that Klal Yisrael always had three ksorim. It says Klal Yisrael was Keser Torah, Keser Puna, Keser Malchus. And he says, even in the time of Yaakov, there were three ksorim. Shevet Yehuda, Zebzechet the Keser Malchus, Keser Levi, Levi's Keser Kahuna. Who was Zechet the Keser Torah? Which one of the Shifti Kol was Zechet the Keser Torah? I would think, if you ask me, I would say, maybe Yitzchok should be very things that Khal was a Malka Maskin, but a different Shevet. The Shabbat says a few times that Yosef was Zeicha to Keser Torah. Yosef was Zeicha to Keser Torah, and I understand why Yosef. Why was Yosef? We look at Yosef, everybody perceives Yosef a money. Why Keser Torah? Keser Torah, we look at somebody, it's a masmid. Why was Yosef Zeicha to Keser Torah? He doesn't explain. He says, Zeicha, Yosef was Zeicha to Keser Torah. I was thinking that the reason Yosef was Zeicha to Keser Torah, that's what the Maral speaks about, is Mem Chesvom She'Torah Niknas Behem. And many of those Mem Chesvom She'Torah Niknas Behem is because we don't understand what they have a shayach from Torah. Mem Chesvom She'Torah Niknas Behem. One of them is Noise Boilam Chaveroi. Noise Boilam Chaveroi. What does that have to do with Kiryat Torah? It's a nice reason. Noise Boilam Chaveroi. Why is that the gift for Mem Chesvom She'Torah Niknas Behem? It says also one of the Kiryat Torah is to love people, to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to love people, Avos Abrius. Why is that the gift? Yes, it's very nice to be, that somebody has Avos Abrius, but what does it have? A Shach from Keser Torah. And that is a midah of Ohuv, a person that's loved by others. That's one of the midah She'Torah Niknas Behem. A person has to love by others is Zeicha, the King Anishal Torah. Why? What does Ohuv have to do with Torah? I understand. Be a masculine, to be China, be Nachila. Well, many of the things have to do with living at Torah, with God, what is what those are, I mean, this type is, What does that have to do with Chesed Torah? So the Moral says one quote. He says all three in Yonim, it's a person has to be these two types of people, the people that live for themselves and the people that live for others. Noise about Olam Chaveroi is not a person that's thinking about himself. He's noise about Chaveroi. He's worried what will be when his Chaver tries to help his Chaver, tries to help Chaveroi. He's not living for himself. He's living for others. And the same way somebody is loved. Why do people love him? Because he helps, he's worried about them, he helps them, he does for them. The Meir, he's an Isha Khal, he says, Torah. The same thing, Oyev, he loves people. That's to do with Torah. Because the Torah wasn't given to a Yochid. There's a medrash that says that the Torah wasn't given, Torah seen a lot of Moshes, there's a medrash that says, somebody told him, Yanai, Torah seen a lot, doesn't say that when Rasha's Kilas Yana, it says, when Rasha Kilas Klal Yisrael, the Torah wasn't given to Klal Yisrael, the Torah wasn't given to a Yochid. To have Torah, you have to be an Isha Klal. You have to be somebody that you're not living for yourself, you're living for others, you're doing for others, you're helping others. That makes you the Isha Klal. You're a Klal Yisrael person. You're a person that's worried about the Klal, you're helping the Klal. Then you have a Shachs to Torah, then you can become a Torah. There's Yosef HaTzadik. The brothers, the Achim had a tremendous mistake. They had a tight stone. They thought that Yosef was a relative. He's talking about, well, how is the boss of Avi Abikhzer? He said, what is he talking about? No, he's bringing the boss of Avi Abikhzer. Avi said, Avi Shama Sadova. He says, out of the camera says, what you said, Avi Shama Sadova? What was Yaakov? When is it going to happen? What were the Chalemus of Yosef? The Chalemus was there to be a Melech. Kula B'shtachvim like, he's going to be a Melech. Avi Shama Sadova, because Yosef was Moisam Nafsha. He knew it's not good. He knew that the brothers will hate him, but he was Moisam Nafesh. Why did he bring the divorce of Olabim? Dovid was a Mechiach. He felt that the brothers did have errors. It wasn't feedback. The Tzidkis, the Chazal say that the way we have errors and he didn't listen to me. It says in the Sefer Keach that Turchocha, we don't look at Turchocha as a chesed. He says the greatest chesed is to straighten somebody out of the Ruchnis. To be Mechiach, he says, Yitzchok is the greatest chesed. It's a chesed because not only worried about his goof, you're worried about his neshama. And Yosef was worried about the neshama of his tzaddik and his brothers, but they're not going to listen to him. He felt he wants to tell them that they're not right. He's not going to listen to him. But the father, listen to the father. Yosef, the boss of all Abiyam, he put those in your to the attention of his father that Yaakov should know what the Mechiach. And Yaakov saw that Yosef cares not only about himself. He's by some nefesh for the chesed to straighten out the neshamas of his head, the shifting car. And he was by some nefesh. He says, that's Malchus. Malchus, he's going to be a melech, because a melech, a king, somebody that has the Malchus, he says, Dovid and Shlomo wanted Malchus. In Tanakh it says they wanted Malchus. What did they want Malchus? They were tzaddikim, geburim. They needed to be a melech. They wanted the covenant of Malchus. They wanted to have nice palaces and big armies. No, they were tzaddikim, geburim. Because melech has an ability to help everybody. God's Klal Yisrael, it's large. Every person can help his family, can help his friends. What's the hate tips and the person can help everybody? Can be mal everybody in Luchtis and Gashmis a melech. A melech can be a nice oil the whole Klal Yisrael, and they helped Klal Yisrael. In Luchtis and Gashmis, in Malchi Yisrael, Malchi Rabbanan, says the Hachtara Katz. Who is a melech? The Rabbanan of all of the days we had Goldberg and we were locked in ghettos. We didn't have medifas, but who kept Klal Yisrael? We're still a Klal Yisrael today. We had Choshev Rabbanim. And Choshev Rabbanim didn't care for themselves. They're the poorest people. They had no money. They had no dinners. But they died. Their worry was, how do we help the Kehillah? How do we help us start? And there was many questions about what we did in Torah. The Avi Abikhzer, that he had the need of Malchus. He was not only nice of Olam Chavera, he was nice of Nefesh to help others. He was nice of Nefesh. He knows it's not going to be good, but he was nice of Nefesh for what? For nice of Olam Chavera, to help others. That's the need of Malchus. The Avi Abikhzer, Yaakov knew he has the need of Malchus. He's not living for himself. He's nice of Nefesh to help others, to straighten them out, to do the chesed of the chesed. He's going to be a melech, and he will be a melech. He couldn't wait. When is Yosef going to be a melech? Chesed Torah, the pshat is, we give somebody a chesed Torah. He's not only, he's learning Torah, he's mashpiyah Torah. That's the greatest hashpoyah of Torah and Akira. Torah means Torah, mitzvahs, midas Torahs. What goes into that big Torah is this, and a melech, chesed Torah means somebody that has the chesed of Torah. Has the kesa to bring is the people that he knows, people that he's dealing with, to bring Khal. So kesa Torah, Yosef was right to kesa Torah because he's an Isha Khal. And it says when the Berlin gave the Torah to Khal, so the Yerucham says that what did they see? He let them see. He showed the Gili. What was the Gili that they saw? The Tachas of Kimais and Nidas Asapah. Rashi says that he has a sort of brick, and that was in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's eyes when he saw Mitzrayim. To remember the Tsar of Klal Yisrael, do we need it? HaKadosh Baruch Hu needs a brick. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't know that he didn't have a Tsar. So the Yerucham that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to teach us how to be like someone, to think of others. It's not enough. You have to really think of others. You internalize in yourself that my friend is a Tsar, and I have to. HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed them a brick because he wanted to show them how to be nice about Kaberi. It's not enough to, I know I have the idea, I have to internalize, I have to think about it, I have to be, just like we have this Voida in the Gemara, it says, when Moshe in this week's conscience says, that Khal went out by Yahweh Siglois of Nos and Eilen Beliba in his mates Alei. He gave us heart, he gave us time to think about the Tsar of Khal Yisrael, and he went out to help every Yid, to help them carry the oil, to help them. And that's what teaches me this. The union of Kabbalah to teach us Torah mitzvahs. So what he teaches me this, he teaches us how to be a nice about Kabbalah. Of course, Torah wasn't given from Yachid. Torah was given for a cloud. And the cloud needs a melech. And that's Mamalchel Rabbanan. The Alta says it. Mamalchel Rabbanan, the melech needs a Rav who holds Klal Yisrael. Who gives Khal the Richtige Ashkafis, who gives Khal the Midas Tavis that they have that they need, who cares for them, who carries them. Those are Kamal Chabana. And I want to say about my Tayyid Naftali. We go back a long time, and I could say that the lecture is loyal to carry the Kesa of Mamal Chabana. That's a Kesa. Mamal Chabana. Who are our kings? We have no kings today. We do have kings. Our kings, that's Hachtara. We come here to thank him after I'm told he is a melech. We're over Shamas Adava. He's Roy for Malchus. Malchus means carrying a kehillah. The Yugalite they picked out a Yid, and I'm told that's a God of Torah, and a God of Midas Torahs, and they'll carry the oil. The Chaim said that the Chaim this what's a Rav. The Rav has to carry the oil, that's what a Rav has to do. To carry a kehillah. Have them to look up to, and somebody will teach them and be mad with them, and that's the Hachtara. Naftali is he's an Isha Khal. He has all the minus and midas. V'aviv Shamas Adava. I said, Aviv Shamas Adava. I was waiting. Oh Hashem is Voiloi sits and the killer. Naftali Katz. That's a choshev love, and it's right. So the man Malchel Rabbanan is be a melech. He loves it, and so loves it. Then we should give Dovid Kofman and Zeit for the killer, Zeit for Naftali, Matzliach, Lalas Meir, and the killer should be Meir, Shemayim. Be'ez Hashem, we hope from Yirucham as Din Rabbanim, Choshev Rabbanim, and Mamal Rabbanim, will be managed the killers, will be Zoiche, to the Gula Shleima, Meir,
A merchant from Alexandria had a trade route across the desert. He used to travel merchant from Alexandria had a trade route across the desert. He traveled from village to village selling goods with the backless county. On one trip, there was a sandstorm, and it covered the whole trail. He wandered around looking for a familiar route in the hot desert sun. When he ran out of water, he started to worry. Eventually, he saw in the distance what looked like an oasis. He moved as fast as he could to what could be his salvation. Just as darkness fell, he felt the cool water on his sandals. He dropped to his knees. He began cupping up the water into his mouth with his palm, thanking Hashem that he had survived. Then, out of the darkness, he heard a gospel. It said, "Merchant, reach down, pick up some stones, put them in your pocket, and in the morning, you'll be both sad and glad." When a gospel tells you to do something, you do it. So he reached into the stream, picked up a few pebbles, put them in his pocket. He then packed up, got away from there as fast as he could, and when he felt that he was far away enough and safe, he made camp. Laying there under the stars, he realized that he was pretty dehydrated, and he convinced himself that he probably just dreamt up this whole thing. When he woke up the next morning, he felt something in his pocket. He pulled the pebbles out of his pocket in amazement. They weren't just ordinary pebbles. They were precious gems, diamonds, emeralds, sapphires. At that moment, he was both glad and sad. He was glad that he listened to the gospel and picked up a few pebbles. But he was also very sad, though, that he hadn't picked up more while he was there. The Rav learned that Hashivas from the Shmuel Meir Katz for over 10 years. And over there, picking up more and more pebbles and precious gems. And Be'ez Hashem will be able to give over and instill into us these precious gems. And we should have to be excited to grab more and more as the years go by, Be'ez Hashem, from the Rav. With that, I'd like to ask the Shmuel Meir Katz to say a few words about that.
Naftali, there's a guy in Mishnah, there's a beautiful bud. To be shown where you say, what's the difference between a derech and a oirach? Derech is a road. It's smooth, that's signage. There's other people going there if you need the direction. And relatively straight. The oirach is a path, a footpath. Narrow, bumpy, not so straight, no signs, a little bit lonesome, not necessarily easy to be sure that you're going the right way. So that's an oirach. And when you get to Torah and mitzvahs, we find both the shaynas. Derech B'Kudecha, Derech HaSadikim, we have coming after Orech is Hakalkolis, and Orech is usually not so straight. So what does it mean in mitzvahs? So the guide says that by mitzvahs, Orech, on road, is those mitzvahs, those Yisurim, that's easy to know what it is. Tzitzis, Tefillin, Shabbos. Everybody does pretty much the same thing, the same way. A little bit chalukim and hobbit, but as you can follow the word even so. And then there's orchos. Orchos are individual situations that not necessarily that you do what the other fellow is doing, not necessarily that you do the same thing you did last time. Okay, so next yeshivish example would be whether to go to the simcha or to stay by Seder, close to the simcha, or better to learn. So again, that's how you do it. It's your situation is unique. You can't do what the other guy's doing, you can't even do what you did the last time. That's an oirach. The Goyen says, that over here in this passage, Chol Dechecha De'ehu, Fmi Yasher Chetzecha, is one of the eitzes, how to know that you're going on the right oirach, the right path. So it's Yidua. Moshe Shmuel used to rail against the Sprach, so Shvetz Zayin Yid. People would say that, and if you're saying that enough times, Lavach says we lost so many of the next generation hearing from the parents, the Shvetz Zayin Yid. Shlomo Feifeld, son of Bracha, told his Talmidim that what's a pshat? What does it really mean? It's a Yiddish saying, it has to have a pshat. He says the pshat is that in order to be an Oiskal Yid, you have to know what to do in those situations where you can't look it up. This situation, do that, like this. Where you have to think about being disappointed and figure out what type is the right way. What does the Eibush want to be in such a situation? Sometimes I tell people as a shayla, I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, but you can have to use your seichel. You can't look it up. You can't look up Mishnah Book. Moshe by himself, so he was when he wasn't well, he had to go to the foot doctor, and he had a three-way shayla which shoes to wear. This is more bechabadik for him because he's waiting in the waiting room. This is easier for the doctor. And in the end, he decided on a certain pair of shoes, so he needed his rabbits to put them on him. So that was how it's going to need us right to put them on. This is the easiest for them since that was not well. When he had a whole shotgun tire, people helped him what to do in this situation. He says, that's what if never to go in the Shvetz Zayin Yid. You have to think things through what your next step is. Zog the guy, B'chol derechach if in the drachim, the things that are more clear, so the Eidim, it says Eivav is the Mishkum Shetayra, it's the Mishkum Yifuntarab. If B'chol derechach in the drachim, the easier to decide the things that are more open, the things that are derech. It's a glatt zach. There's other people you can ask other people what to do. So if in the drachim, the aim, if you do it with that, if you do it with like a knowing what state, aim from, she should initial. Or the aim, if you do it Shemayim, for who? The Asher then A Vav Aleph, the Yechida Shalom comes after the A and after the Vav. It's the Aleph, the Yechida Shalom, the one that's going to help you pass in this item. You have to use his head. Who the Asher himself, and then the Orchos, even the Orchos, Chazal Orchos Kolos. The Asher himself, the Orchos, let's say the fifth Shulchan is going to be glad. Give a bracha to the Gil, a bracha to my cousin in Rabbi Katz, to be in transparency. He's a cousin from my Abikhzer. Rabbi Katz, bracha that you should know. Be'ez Hashem, he's there, steig weiter in the Yerucham. If the Yerucham that is there, they are with us. They are the Shem Shemayim. He should be Zeicha, and he should be Zeicha to have the Yerucham in the fifth Shulchan also in the Orchos. Those kind of situations that could easily be in Orchos HaKolos, that will become Orchos Yosher, to be able to be Miyasher of the Sefer, with Gracie the Shmaya, and with the Varav as well.
Codfish were at one time in great demand in restaurants all over the country. However, getting them from these faraway countries to the restaurants in their proper freshness or taste and texture was a challenge. So the shippers had to come up with ideas, but at first they tried freezing the codfish. And it turned out that freezing the fish ruined their delicate taste. So the shippers decided, let's send them and take some seawater so that they arrive fresh. That didn't work either because the codfish, if they're not in there in the ocean, so they're just sitting in the water, so they get soft and mushy. That didn't work. Finally, an enterprising fisherman got the idea to ship the codfish with a few of their natural enemies, the catfish, in the same tank. The catfish chased the cods around during the journey, and they arrived fresh and firm and perfect for the taste. It says in Pirkei Avos, Aseh L'cha Rav. Through this mashal, we have to create our own catfish for ourselves, so that the Rav, can keep us fresh and constantly working on ourselves. The Rav has done so, I'm sure, with numerous surveys. One of them we still keep in very close touch with here, Parness, who the Rav is still very close to, through the Rav's Mesifta Rebbe. And we'd like to ask Rabbi Parness to say a few words about that.
It's very hard to quantify the heritage of the moment. It's a Zeh Hayom Kivinu Loy. Our relationship with Reb Naftali started Elul Tufshin Nun Daled. It's a few years ago. And that's September 1994. And it's been 30 years of growth straight through the 30 years. Emphasis, I was going to speak for about 10 seconds. And just say to the Olam, to the tzibur that he's now going to lead, Zechisem. You're Zeicha. And obviously you'll find out as the years go on how much you're Zeicha. You already saw this Shabbos, off the cuff, not over Shtikl, but Zohar Davis, Erev Shabbos, Parness, Steer to Shabbos. That was not something that he was prepared to do. That was something that he had to say because he was asked to give a lot of shir, even though he didn't realize he was going to be doing that. Everybody has their ladder of life. Sulam. Everybody has their sulam, their ladder of life. And everybody has to be careful to make sure they go from rung to rung to rung. Because if you fall off a rung, you can fall all the way down. But there's something very unique about a ladder, which is as follows. That a ladder, if it stands up straight, it won't stand up straight, it'll just fall down to the ground. The only way a ladder has any stability is if it leans on a wall, it leans on a building, it leans on something. So the heritage I have now is as follows. That the Rav, until now, in his climb up his ladder of Mutzav Arza Rosh Nagia Shamayma, was leaning on his rebbeim, on the Paiskim, on the Sheshivas, whoever he leaned on. And now he is becoming that wall, that building. Whereas Kehillah is now going to lean on him. Lean on him in learning, lean on him for halacha, lean on him in Musar, in Machshava, in Drush. In Hadracha, in general life, Shalom Bayis, in Chabonim. And I'm going to say something him and his wife may not be so happy with. Take advantage of it. Nudge them. Milk them for what they have to offer. They both have a tremendous amount to offer, him and his wife. And if on the other side of the Mechitza there aren't that many of the wives here, you could give over the message that they are people who can be milked in every area of life. Rav Shimon Schwab says, at the end of Parshas Matos, when it says, L'chava Yoir, Yoir went and captured, Yikol and Chavois Yoir. But then it talks about, the last pasuk is, the Noivach Holach, Vayikra Allah, Noivach B'Shmoi. He named the city Noivach B'Shmoi. It's Rafa. Zakrash, brings for a Moshe Dash, it's weak. What does it mean? It's weak. What does that mean? Zak, Rav Shimon Schwab will follow. He says, because a person's approach and his association, Sayin Ruchnius and Sayin Gashmius, could be in one of two ways. Let's look at Gashmius. A person can have a lot of possessions, but he's not defined by his possessions. He happens to have possessions. He's who he is, and he's defined, and he has possessions. Or a person can be defined. Trump Tower, Zemashiach, the whole uptouch is the possessions. The whole definition, the whole identity is the Gashmius. Zucker Schwab, Yoir, Halach, Vayilkas, Knosper, Osmisa, Vayil, and his Gashmi is with his identity. That's Rafa, that's not the Malach. So Rav Schwab. Inversely, in Ruchnius, it goes the other way. There's two ways to approach doing mitzvahs, davening and learning. There's who you are, and then you do the daf. Or you have to daven, or you have to do chesed. And then, as Dovid Melech says, "Va'ani sfila." I'm a chefta of tefillah. V'sarasoi yagin yagin v'layla. Goyim al nafshay ish chased. The Rav and his Rebbetzin both illustrate very clearly that Ruchnius is not something that's detached from them. It's who they are, they can see it's their identity. Like it's in the Torah, in Avodah, and in Milos Chasada. And you're going to learn that as you go along. The Gemara in Brachos talks about when the Talmidim left, and they left each other, Be'erani, Be'erasi, gave each other Brachos, and one of the Brachos they gave was Elamcha Tira B'chayecha. Elamcha Tira B'chayecha. What should it mean? Tisha Hatzlacha. But others learn, maybe you're sure also, others learn, Elamcha is B'lashon Helen. That many people have koiches that are under the radar, or even to themselves are under the radar. They don't even have to have certain koiches and what they can do, and what they're capable of doing. So the bracha they gave was, your hidden koiches, your potential should be realized. I was thinking like this. I was thinking, can I know Naftali and learning and steiging. I was his Rebbe, but I was also his Kavrusa. And can I know, aside from being a Talmud Chacham, his clarity in what he learns, his ability to give over, as those who hear him in his Chavuras for many, many years can attest to, they're clear. And when he speaks, rather than learning or in drush, it's clear. That means he has it clear. And he strikes in that area. And he strikes in the area of different halachas, from the Chaim Aruchim, and other areas of halacha that he could pull out of the hat or pull out the piece of paper on many shtickloch that he has in all areas. So in those areas, we see the potential being realized. And there was this one area that needed hashlamah. And that area was taking a group, this exact minor, taking the Kehillah and raising them, and raising the bar, in Torah and Avodah, and that koyach, and those abilities that he had them, but he never had an opportunity to bring them out. So right now, that those koyachs are going to come out. It'll be the Helen, the potential coming out, Arein Shir Mitzvah Hashem, and Zechisa. Take advantage of them. That's all for God.
Albert Einstein, the great physicist, once was named Man of the Century by Time magazine, was traveling from Princeton on a train. When the conductor came down the aisle punching the tickets of every passenger. When he came to Einstein reached in his vest pocket. He couldn't find his ticket. So he reached in his pants pocket. It wasn't there. He looked in his briefcase. Still couldn't find it. He looked on the seat beside him. Wasn't there. The conductor looked at him and said, "Don't worry, Dr. Einstein, I know who you are. We all know who you are. I'm sure you bought a ticket. It's fine." Einstein nodded appreciatively. The conductor continued down the aisle, punching tickets. As he was ready to move to the next car, he turned around and saw Einstein on the floor, hands in knees, looking under his seat for the ticket. The conductor rushed back and said, "Dr. Einstein, don't worry. We know who you are. It's not a problem. You don't need a ticket." Einstein And in Kehillah, that's our Rav. So together as a Kehillah, with the Rav at the helm, we'll be Zoyvet to Taka and guide us and our children to become the best versions of ourselves that we could be. Without further ado, we'd like to present the Rav to Hachtara, and then ask the Rav to say it.
Give them more work so they shouldn't hope for this Dvar Shem. The men should bother with the expression Al Yishu Dvar Shem. They shouldn't have hope in Dvar Shem. Should say Al Yishu, they should return to do Avodah. What's the lashon of Yishu? And it explains as follows. Malamed, Shahoyu Biyodam Megillos, they had Megillos, Shahoyu Mishnashim Bahem. In these Megillos, they would delight. Mishabas L'Shabas, Loimar, Sha'akadosh Baruch Hu Bayam. They would read these Megillos and be Mishnasheh, saying they're going to be Nigel. Zakare al-Nishu. What I don't like, Al-Yiyu Mishnasheh. I don't want them to be Mishnasheh. Al-Yiyu Nefishim B'yam HaShabbos, and now they're going to start working on Shabbos. What was written in these Megillos? That Khal was so confident that through reading them, they'll be Nigel. The Medrash doesn't tell us. However, there's another Medrash in Shaicher Tehillim, which gives us the answer. There it says on the pasuk, "Luloi tzayroska sha'ashua yozavati ba'ani." Omer Yisrael said, "Luloi tzayroska, without your Torah, shahoisagini, that was with me." And more than that, "V'hi sha'ashui," and it's my delight, it's what I enjoy. It gives me chiyas, yozavati ba'ani. V'chein parei omer, tichbod ba'ali. Farm hoyulah. They had Svarim and they were Mishtasheh. Kach Nemar, Lulei Sayraska Shashu. We see that these Svarim that they learned was simply Liman Torah. They had free time on Shabbos, they worked hard the whole week, they grabbed the opportunity to learn. They knew this was the key to their guru. Loimar Sha'akadosh Baruch Hu Koyel. They knew if they learned when they had that free time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was going to be Koyel. The question is, why was Paroi only nervous about the Al Yishu Varsha? And Mishnasheh, that's the only thing Paroi was worried about. They were delighting and enjoying their Murat Torah. Perhaps we could explain, and this is why they knew they were going to be Nigal from Mitzrayim, is they weren't just learning Torah. They were learning Torah in a way that it was Shashua. They got chiyas from the Murat Torah. They enjoyed it. They showed simcha that they had the opportunity during their free time to learn. If you can learn Torah, that's part of your chiyas. That's something you enjoy, not something you have to do. Then even if you're in Mitzrayim, even if you're in Goldberg, you have the ticket out. Khal Yisrael knew that, and Parness. They knew from learning these Megillos, eventually they were going to leave Mitzrayim. When we take out the Torah, whenever we lean, we say the pasuk, "V'atem adveikim b'Hashem chayim kulchem hayom." Very specific. The Tzivah Him Goldberg explains that the way to connect to Hashem is through Isaac HaTorah. We're about to learn Torah. That's going to bring, his Lashon is Chiyas HaNefesh, the Samechim, the Devekas Hashem. Through the Isaac HaTorah, we want to say when we take out the Torah, V'atem hadveikim b'Hashem chayim kulchem hayom. We know through this Isaac HaTorah that we're going to be alive. We're going to have a chiyas. Not the regular Rashi is physical chiyas, but through our chiyas, our shashum in Torah, we're going to connect to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and we're going to be what the Torah considers to be alive. There was somebody who told me that he was in Rav Shach's house. When Rav Shach made the kinnis HaMashgichim, he brought all the Mashgichim of Eretz Yisrael to his house to explain to them what their job is. And Rav Shach said the following. He said in the previous Dar in Europe, the job of the Mashgichim were to know every Chacham in the world. They had to know every Chacham, many Chachams. And they had to show the Talmidim that the Chacham of Torah is far superior in emes than everything else in Shach. Rav Shach then told the Mashgichim that your job has changed because the door has changed. He said, your job now is to show that the most geschmacked life to live is the life of the Ben Torah. And that's the job of Mashiach. When people come together, especially Kehillah, to create a makom for Avodas Hashem, they have a goal. What this Kehillah wants, and what we're going to strive to do together, is to have a makom where our chiyas is going to come through our Yiddishkeit. When our families, including our children, look at us, and they see when we learn that it's a shashua, when we do mitzvahs, it's something we want to do, it's something where it's giving us chiyas. They'll see our Asik and Torah and Tefillah and Gemilas Chasadim is part of us. It's part of who we want to be. They will want to emulate us just by that. As Rav said to the Mashgichim, it's about the most geschmack of life being a mentor. Elikim haroya oitzim me'odi ayim hazeh. The Rebbeinu Shalom has been my roya, been mashgiach at every part of my life, including being meshadech me, which is wonderful kiyum. And the Aliyah who want to do the right thing and want to bring up their families to be married to Yitzchok. It's a tremendous chus to partner with the Kehillah in building a makom, the Torah and Tefillah, and the Shechina will be comfortable residing in our Kehillah. However, for me, this didn't start here. My parents, with Chasdei Hashem, are both here today, have done a wonderful job of giving me whatever I needed to become who I've become, be it in Gashmias or Ruchnias. My father-in-law has made a difficult trip to be with us today, and he's been a role model and a source of chizuk for myself and my family. They should be zeicher to see much nachas from all their children and grandchildren in good health and abiyas. I've been gebenched to have a rabbeinu that I've been mekayim that which Chazal say, Rabbi Meir l'chayel l'mama. From elementary school to the Sifta, they have been part of me developing myself al derech Hachtara v'avodah, via efshel part of Kirabim. I was given the bracha to learn by Meir Rabbi Moshe Alevi Meizim in Shlit on Paris. He taught me how to learn the Taisus in the Rambam, to try to strive to live life as Harav for you. And he continues to be madrach me and my family. Rav Yitzchok Parness has always been there for me, and quite literally adopted me ever since I came to Lake. Coming to Beis Medrash Gavoya afforded me the opportunity to learn for many years in a makom of Limud, Torah, and Melos Torah, led by the Labour Rosh Hashivot, in Bochum Echaim L'chaim L'Mashgiach Zatzal. Hashem Yitzchok should continue to give them the kindness to be mamshich in their avodah and Yisrael. As well, I want to express my Hachtara Satoiv to Meir Shmuel Meir Katz, who I have to meet. He's opened my eyes to my raw, and he's there to guide me on a constant basis, as well as to the multitude of all Talmidim. Khal b'nei Torah is where I've had this list to be married to Torah, Talmidim Hagunim, led by the Rosh Khal, Rav Lefkovich Shlita, told me he'd love to be here, but he's not well. My Hachtara Satoiv to him knows no bounds. Without Chaver Tovim, all the above would be lost in Yashakayim. After and thought that my wife has brought bracha ba'ar into my life, as well as our family, and all that I may have become is due to her sacrifice. My bracha to the Kehillah, as well as to myself, is that together we should create a makom l'shechina, a shemel tiferes, Avi Abikhzer, and Harav Yameinu. Amen.
Shir Malas and